Rookie cop Jake Hoyt, eager to prove himself among Los Angeles' finest, steps into what should be a routine evaluation day. He counts himself lucky when he's assigned to decorated narcotics detective Alonzo Harris, a legend in the field. But as the day unfolds, Jake begins to learn the lengths some go to blur the line between right and wrong. A young, ambitious police officer named Jake Hoyt rises early, bids farewell to his wife and newborn daughter, and, in hopes of soon becoming a detective, leaves to meet with a senior, respected narcotics detective named Alonzo Harris for a day-long evaluation, in which Alonzo will decide if Jake has what it takes to join his highly regarded team.
No, sir, I don't. I got the department issue Beretta.
Good. Bring it. Cuffs too.
Jake and Alonzo meet at a local diner, and midway through their interaction, Jake is taken aback by the detective's bold and intimidating manner, but attributes it to the job.
Since you can't keep your mouth shut long enough for me to read my paper, tell me a story.
Then Alonzo leads Jake to his fancy car, and the duo starts their day cruising the streets. The detective uses this time to orient the young officer about the nature of the anti-narcotics job, gives him some tips, and weighs his loyalty.
It's 5 different personalities, 5 sets of problems. You could be number 6 if you act right.
Then the duo spots some college students buying marijuana, and as they prepare to arrest them, Alonzo orders Jake to stay off the police radio and not to report their status. The duo then gives the students a short car chase and stops them.
On the windshield. Put him on the windshield. All right, drive it.
Hands on the side of the glass.
Then while Jake covers his back, Alonzo confronts the students aggressively, confiscates their weed and cigarettes, and, after warning them never to return to the gang neighborhoods, lets them go. The way Alonzo handled the situation mystifies Jake, but he keeps his questions to himself and decides to keep learning from the best in the business.
I don't care who gave it to you. She could pick it up in jail. What else you got? Give me them cigarettes too.
Then, as the duo continues their cruise, Alonzo rolls the confiscated marijuana and orders Jake to smoke it. However, Jake wholeheartedly refuses to do so, and after some back and forth, Alonzo warns Jake that such attitudes will get him killed on the streets and threatens to end his evaluation. Backed into a corner, Jake agrees to smoke the joint.
Give me that thing. I'll smoke it, man. Give it to me.
Within just a few minutes, Jake gets high out of his mind and starts to hallucinate. To make matters worse, Alonzo then reveals that the joint is laced with PCP, which freaks Jake out as he can't afford to fail a drug test.
Why did you do this to me?
You're an adult, man. Shit.
Alonzo quickly changes his tone and tells him that he didn't force him to break the law. Alonzo then takes Jake to his friend, ex-drug dealer Roger's house to introduce him. However, Jake remains high most of the visit and makes a fool out of himself.
Busted shell up all this shit, lands in the grass.
Then as the duo continues on their way, Jake spots a couple of men attacking a young girl named Letty in an alleyway and rushes Alonzo to stop the car.
Stop the car! I saw something! Stop the fucking car!
All right, hold on.
Jake then runs on the street like a maniac, reaches the alley, and attacks the assailants. Meanwhile, Alonzo slowly arrives at the scene, but instead of helping, he stands back and watches everything unfold. Letty catches her breath and, emboldened by the presence of the police, threatens the criminals that her powerful gangster cousin will kill them. Despite Jake's insistence that he needs to take Letty's statement, Alonzo calms the young girl down and sends her home. Then he frisks the men, terrorizes and threatens them until they whimper in fear, but to Jake's disappointment, he leaves them and walks away. As he leaves the scene, Jake finds the girl's wallet and keeps it.
I'm thirsty. I want a beer. What about you? You want a beer?
Back in the car, Alonzo and Jake get into an argument in which Jake openly disagrees with Alonzo's decision to let the assailants go, however. Alonzo brushes it off and assures Jake that the streets will take care of the perpetrators.
You gotta catch the wolf, and it takes a wolf to catch a wolf, you understand?
Soon, Alonzo calms down the tension by telling Jake that he did the right, heroic thing by rescuing the young girl, praises him for his dedication, and the duo starts bonding.
You're gonna do some damage out here, I guarantee you.
Later, the duo spots a drug dealer named Blue selling cocaine, and Jake chases him. Then Jake finally catches him and frisks him, but finds nothing. Then Alonzo aggressively orders Blue to reveal his employer, but gets nowhere. Soon, Alonzo finds the cocaine rocks Blue has been hiding and learns that his employer is an imprisoned criminal named Kevin Sandman Miller.
You gonna give me a name now.
Come on, man. You know
That's 10 right there, dog.
Alonzo finds out the location of Sandman's residence, and knowing that the suspect is incarcerated, goes there with Jake, holding a fake search warrant, and threatens his way inside. While Jake monitors Mrs. Miller, Alonzo searches the house and steals $40,000.
Sit down right now!
Okay. Everything is fine.
Then, as Jake and Alonzo proceed to leave, Mrs. Miller catches on that the officers are not there in an official capacity and demands they return her money. When that fails, she announces the robbery to the neighborhood gangs who open fire on the duo. Then a shootout ensues between the gangsters and Alonzo. The duo escapes the ordeal, but on the way back, Jake expresses his concerns over Alonzo's reckless and illegal behavior. Annoyed by this, Alonzo once again gives an impassioned speech about the versatility of the narcotics department and warns Jake to quit the evaluation and leave if he's not cut out for it. Hoping to advance in his career, Jake continues tagging along. For lunch, the duo visits Alonzo's mistress Sarah and their young son. As they drive through Sarah's dangerous neighborhood, the local gangsters gawk at the young police officer suspiciously. After spending a few hours there, Alonzo rushes Jake out to a meeting with a corrupt hierarchy of officials.
I don't know why I'm meeting you. I don't talk to dead men.
There, Jake observes from a different table as the officials advise Alonzo to escape town until the heat from the Russians dies down. However, Alonzo assures them he has a plan to work everything out and instead asks them to give him an arrest warrant for Roger in exchange for a hefty payment of $40,000.
I do not want to see you on the front page like those other assholes.
Then, as Jake listens in utter confusion, Alonzo calls his squad, orders them to meet him armed to the teeth and with a shovel. Then Alonzo introduces Jake to his men, who welcome him with mistrust and hostility.
Let's do this right so we can all go home and do the wife or the girlfriend thing, all right?
Then, following Alonzo's lead, the officers break down Roger's door.
What's going down, brother?
Oh, it's all good, baby.
They then disarm Roger and secure the house.
Give me a reason.
Then Alonzo gives Roger the arrest warrant and informs him that the corrupt officials have sent for his arrest, but promises that he won't let him go back to prison. He then sends his men to the kitchen and orders them to dig the floor. After a few minutes of digging, the officers find a trunk full of $4 million and rejoice.
That's $250,000 you're holding right there in your hand. Over $4 million in here.
Then Alonzo announces that they will only report the $3 million and split the rest among themselves. However, Jake shocks and infuriates the men when he refuses to join in the take and instead suggests reporting all of it.
First time, you're not comfortable. I'll hold it for you. Okay?
Soon, Alonzo orders Jake to kill Roger, but he refuses.
Shoot him.
Annoyed by the insubordination, Alonzo makes good on his promise not to let Roger go back to prison and fatally shoots him.
Just let it go.
As Jake reels from his shock, Alonzo quickly starts making a cover-up story and reconstructs the scene to make it look like Roger had shot one of the officers and was shot and killed by Jake. As everyone except Jake promises to back this story, Alonzo shoots one of his men, named Jeff, twice on his bulletproof vest, with Roger's gun, and completes the scene.
I gotta give you one more, though.
Do it.
At this moment, the glass finally breaks for Jake, and he realizes that nothing is as it seems, and there's nothing heroic about the narcotics unit boss. What makes the revelation so unsettling is that Alonzo's character is inspired by real LAPD corruption cases. In addition, the fact that Denzel Washington, who won an Oscar for this role, had improvised most of his lines adds to the rawness of emotions felt by Ethan Hawke as Jake. Moments later, Jeff cries out that he's been shot through the vest, falls down, and begs them to call an ambulance.
1149-998, shots fired. Officer down, repeat.
Unfazed, Alonzo continues to drill in the cover story so that it holds up in the aftermath. After rehearsing multiple times, the group all agree to name Jake as the shooter.
Came in spraying.
Paul,
Boot shot him.
what'd you guys see?
White blasted.
Unable to take the corrupt madness any longer, Jake swiftly disarms Alonzo and holds him at gunpoint, which forces the rest of the officers to hold Jake in their crossfire.
Drop the fucking gun, now!
You want to shoot me, Paul? Go ahead, but I'm taking him with me.
Alonzo orders his men to stand down. Then he reminds Jake of the police department's post-incident blood test and taunts him by mentioning the PCP he smoked earlier, which will ruin his career. At this moment, Jake realizes that Alonzo had planned out the events of the day down to the last moment and has been preparing him to be the scapegoat.
And I say nobody's gonna hurt him. But you do have a decision to make, Jake.
Once again feeling cornered, Jake relents and steps out to clear his head.
Hey, Paul.
As the police and emergency services respond to the scene, Alonzo meets with Jake in his car to see how he's handling everything. As they discuss everything, Jake is mortified to hear Alonzo rationalize the insanity that took place in Roger's house.
Son, this is the game. I'm playing his ass. That's my job. That's your job.
Then Jake once again refuses to accept a share of the money and reiterates that he wants to do his job the right way. However, Alonzo brushes this aside and advises the officer to adapt to the reality of being a detective.
You want to lock up poisoners? This is the best place to do it.
Then Alonzo takes Jake to visit one of his criminal contacts named Smiley and his associates. As Jake follows Alonzo to Smiley's residence, the local thugs try to intimidate him, but he ignores them. Then, as Alonzo steps out, the gangsters force Jake to join them in a card game and keep him occupied. After a few minutes, as things start getting intense, Jake starts looking for Alonzo and is bewildered to learn that he has left him behind and fled the apartment.
Hey, where you going? Where you going?
Then Smiley narrates Alonzo's predicament. Alonzo had gotten into a fight with a Russian gangster a week prior and beaten him to death. Following this, the Russians demand that he pay them $1 million and give him a week to come up with the money. Smiley adds that, as the deadline expires in a few hours, Alonzo had paid him to kill Jake and left him to handle his business. All of a sudden, a fight breaks out between Jake and the gangsters. The gangsters overpower Jake and drag him to the bathtub. Fortunately, just as Smiley proceeds to shoot Jake, one of his men frisks the officer and finds Letty's, who happens to be Smiley's cousin's, wallet. The gangsters become furious at this discovery, while Jake narrates how he found it and that he helped her. Smiley then calls Letty, who luckily corroborates Jake's story. Then, a grateful Smiley, who values family more than anything, spares Jake's life as a show of gratitude for saving his cousin from assault and lets him go. Then Jake heads to Sarah's neighborhood and is once again gawked at and threatened by the thugs.
You got business here, rookie? I'm here for Alonzo.
Jake ignores this intimidation, rushes to Sarah's apartment, and barges into the bedroom. And ignoring Alonzo's claim that it was all a test, proceeds to arrest Alonzo.
You made it. You passed the test. You're a knock. You're in.
Alonzo undermines Jake's authority and intimidates him by announcing that he can't prove any of his allegations. He then quickly attacks him, runs out, and hides. Soon, an intense shootout breaks out between Alonzo and Jake.
How you think he got there?
Then Alonzo escapes through the windows and heads to the roof, where an intense fight takes place. Alonzo knocks Jake out, takes the money, and quickly prepares to head to his appointment with the Russians. As soon as Alonzo starts his car, Jake summons all his strength and, in hopes of stopping Alonzo, jumps on it. Then as the locals gather and watch in awe, Jake beats Alonzo, takes the money, and holds him at gunpoint.
What you gonna do? You gonna shoot me?
You gonna bust your cherry killing a cop?
Then Alonzo offers the local gangs money to kill Jake, but having had enough of his abuse over the years, the men refuse to help him.
Player to player, pimp to pimp. I don't believe you shoot me, nigga.
As Alonzo attempts to leave, Jake shoots him in the hips as a warning.
Are you gonna take my own money from me, huh?
I told you that's my evidence. You want to go to jail, you want to go home.
As Alonzo begs Jake to give him the money and let him go, the local gangs step in, promise to handle the matter, and advise Jake to leave.
Hey, Jake! Hey! Jake! Jake!
Relieved, Jake walks away to submit the money as evidence. Then Alonzo drives to the airport, hoping to leave town in time, but is soon ambushed by the Russian mob, who kill him. Meanwhile, Jake returns home after a long and difficult day and hears of Alonzo's death on the radio. And with that, the story ends. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more of the best film recaps.